9, Mr. Tapley here for your next lesson of Year 9 Humanities. At this lesson, we are going to be investigating several global issues for further research in the upcoming civics. Hi Year 9, Mr. Tapley here for your next lesson of Year 9 Humanities. At this lesson, we are going to be investigating several global issues for further research in the upcoming citizenship CAT in week 9 and week 10. So you have to select one of these topics, one of these research topics for your CAT. So this lesson, we're not starting the CAT, obviously. It's more about exploring the different options you have, and then at the end of the lesson, I'd like you to select your topic. Not start research, you just need to choose a topic this lesson. And that's our success criteria. Select a research topic for the CAT from the list of global issues identified by the United Nations. So, the main assessment for our unit connects both our civics and citizenship studies. So civics looking at politics, citizenship looking at these global issues, and what our CAT is really how politics can change global issues. So you will be constructing a letter to Parliament on a global issue connected to Australia. The letter should outline the global issue, so what is the problem, the importance of addressing the issue, so why is this an important thing to talk about, to fix, and evaluate whether or not Australia is fulfilling its global responsibilities. So are we practicing global citizenship? Are we doing enough to fix climate change? Are we doing enough to fix plastic pollution? Stuff like that. This will require you to complete individual research into your global issue. So the causes, the challenges, the impact, proposed solutions, and then national action or lack of action. The aim isn't to create a report, so you're not going to tell me here is climate change. You're establishing a point of view. So either Australia is or is not being a global citizen, and it's your job to convince Parliament that we should be creating change. So you're supporting your point of view, your opinion, with arguments and evidence, and then aiming to persuade the government to create change. So think of it as a persuasive writing piece, I suppose. In our previous lessons, we've examined a number of different global issues and global efforts to address these challenges. So looking at the United Nations and the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. This lesson, I'll be talking about, not all of them, because I'm running out of breath and I don't have enough time to give you a 70-minute video, but we'll be presenting additional information on several of these issues to prepare you for your assessment. So again, the aim of this lesson is to not start researching, just select a research topic for the CAT. So you've got 6 possible options that you can talk about, so plenty of options there. The global issues you may investigate for the CAT include climate change, poverty, so ending world poverty, food security, so not enough food, water availability, not enough water, gender equality, and then children's health and education. So I'll be talking through climate change, food and water security, and poverty before you guys have an opportunity to do a bit of research yourself and come to a decision about what topic you want to investigate for the CAT. Here is a quote from someone. I'm not going to tell you who, you have to find out. Climate change is real. It is happening right now, and it is the most urgent threat facing our entire species. We need to work collectively together to address climate change. A major issue that requires global citizenship to overcome is climate change. As a result of human actions and a lack of inaction, as a result of our exploitation of natural resources, deforestation, cutting down all these trees, and pollution, we have created a lot of negative changes to our environment, changes that are impacting us now and in the future. If climate change is not addressed soon, global temperatures will increase, sea levels will rise, biodiversity, so the amount of wildlife, plant life that we have in the world, will decrease, and natural disasters will be more frequent and more intense. Stuff like the bushfires in January, stuff like Hurricane Laura that occurred in America just this week. So that's one topic, one global issue that you can explore. And I've got a couple of videos down here that you can look at, I guess, to determine if you are interested in this topic. So this one is actually a trailer to the documentary Before the Flood. If we were in class, I would have watched it with you, but we don't have time to watch it. It's like 90 minutes long. Yeah, there it is. Buy it and rent it. It might be on Netflix, actually, or it's on Disney Plus. So anyway, it's a quick trailer to that documentary about climate change. Next link is a little 4-minute video explaining climate change. So Climate Change 101, so a little basic introduction from Bill Nye, Mr. Tapley's hero. And then you've got another video here from National Geographic that talks about not just the causes, but also the effects of climate change. I should have done this one. Climate change is a giant game of Tetris. That looks interesting. Anyway, that's one of the global issues you can explore in the CAT. Another one, food and water security. So really, these are two separate issues. You can talk about both of them together if you feel like it, or you can just focus in on one of them. There's definitely enough information to just choose one, but if you'd rather talk about them both, because they are connected, you can do that. There are millions of people around the world and in Australia who do not have enough access to food and water, which greatly impacts their quality of life. Imagine how your life would be different if you did not have access to food or water. When I'm recording this video, this is like a couple of days after a big storm that we had in Melbourne, and it messed up the water supply to a lot of houses. So some of you guys might be experiencing water insecurity right now. To have food security, food needs to be affordable, available, quality, and nutritious. Food insecurity can negatively affect an individual's health, well-being, and life expectancy. We need food to survive. It's pretty important. The availability of clean water is also necessary to sustain life, to improve socio-economic development, so to improve our social life, our community, but also our economy. To get money, you need water to do things, basically. Water protects us, clean water, against disease. It helps preserve our environment, our ecosystem, and the environment provides us with resources. If we don't have water, if we don't preserve the environment, we can't improve the soil, we can't farm effectively, we lose food, no food security, kind of connected. And I've got a couple videos there about world food security, which is this one, about water security here. Are we running out of clean water? I don't know how to pronounce that name, but this one's a bit personal to Mr. Tapley as well. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in a video, but the day before Term 3 started, I had a house fire up on my farm, up in the Yarra Valley. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before either. I live on a farm. My partner is a farmer, and we get our water from these big water tanks, and the fire unfortunately destroyed those water tanks. So for the past month, we have been facing some water insecurity. We couldn't get water to the main house. And I now realize that you need water for a lot of things. For drinking, obviously, for cooking, you need water for showering, for bathing. We have 3 dogs who get very muddy, so you need a lot of water to bathe them. You use water in your septic system, your toilets as well. You use water to... Water is important. So this is a very good topic to look at as a global issue. Because if you were put into that position where that was your day-to-day life, you would have a very low quality of life. Final topic I'm going to talk about before I lose my breath is poverty. Poverty can be defined as the lack of certain possessions or income. So you don't have any possessions, you don't have any money, which significantly reduces your quality of life. People in poverty struggle to meet basic needs, including limited access to food, clothing, healthcare, education, shelter, and safety. In regions and communities affected by poverty, there is often a lack of political, social, and economic development. So that means you're not being represented in politics, so your interests aren't being represented, no one's going to be helping you, there's no social development, no economic development, so the community is going to stay poor, and there's not going to be any jobs or businesses showing up in that community, which is affecting their ability to address poverty. One of the most devastating impacts of poverty is that the cause of poverty is poverty. It's like a never-ending cycle. The consequences of poverty can impact future generations. So if your parents experience poverty, that means the children will experience poverty. That means that their children will experience poverty. It's hard to break poverty. Poverty leads to food insecurity, a lack of education, and child mortality. So if I don't have any education, I can't get a high-paying job to get out of poverty. So I'm going to have a low-paying job, my children will experience poverty, and then so on and so on. So you can see how poverty is basically the consequences and the causes are connected. That's why it's so hard to break poverty. A couple of videos about poverty. I like this one because that connects nicely to what we're doing at Glen Waverley Secondary College. Live Below the Line is a charity initiative that's a global thing, really, but it's actually started from Oak Tree Foundation in Melbourne, Victoria. Some of my friends are actually people who have worked in the Oak Tree Foundation, who have volunteered there, and it's a really good campaign connected to, so this one, no, it's this one, connected to poverty. And people at Glen Waverley Secondary College are doing the Live Below the Line campaign at the moment. Mr. Robinson's organising this. We've got, I think, about 50 students doing that. So I encourage you to go into Compass, see if you can find any information about Live Below the Line, and support your classmates and your teachers who are participating in this campaign. And then this video here, What is Poverty, from World Vision Australia, a big Australian charity that works in not just Australia but globally, and they address poverty, the impact of poverty. So check out that video there, 3 minutes long. All right, getting to the actual lesson activities. The lesson activities are, well, what I just went through. Basically, you're using the resources and the information provided in the class slides to explore these issues. So you don't have to do any research today. It's just about watching those videos, reading the information, and then checking out these two websites, which we've used before. It's the United Nations list of global issues. So you guys have looked at these before. So there's children. So that's the health and education of children one that I discussed. There's climate change, ending poverty, food insecurity, gender equality. So using that website, and then obviously all of those are connected to these SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So if you click on no poverty, it talks about poverty. Obviously, zero hunger is relating to food security, etc., etc. So using those two websites, using the class slides, pick a topic. So in your digital notebook, by the end of this lesson, I would like you to record what your research topic is and why you have selected this issue. 2 or 3 sentences. Maybe you found it interesting. Maybe you found it very touching to read about, to hear about. You know, you're developing your empathy. Maybe it's personally connected to you. Maybe you're just curious about it. You don't know much about climate change, so you want to find out more about it, so you are more educated about it. And then the final thing you're doing, identify 2 or 3 resources that can assist your research efforts in the upcoming CAT. So go out, find a few websites, a few videos, a few charities, organizations related to poverty, related to food and water security. So those videos will obviously be options you can include, but I'd like you to find 1 or 2 of your own related to your research topic in the CAT. So a lot of information, I know, I apologize. That's why I only went through 3 global issues. But really, if you want a TLDR summary, pick a topic, 2-3 sentences in your notebook about why you've picked that topic, and then 2 or 3 resources that will help you when you get into research for that topic later on. You don't have to start it today. I mean, if you finish this stuff early, you can. But in the next 2 or 3 lessons, I'm going to be giving you a few resources myself, and I'll be giving you some guidance on what you specifically need to research for the CAT. So don't get too enthusiastic just yet. Today's just about really picking a topic. If you have any questions or concerns, guys, please let me know. Otherwise, best of luck. Hope you're well, and cheers.